What's going on, guys? It's your boy Anthony. We're back with another breakdown of The Last of Us, Season 2, Episode 6, The Price. Joel is back, just like we thought. A really cool flashback episode. It opens up with a scene that we did not get in the game. We get a really big flashback all the way back to Joel and Tommy's youth. Tommy is, got into a fight, tried to buy some weed. Joel is telling Tommy, you don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna take the fall for you. And then we get introduced to Papa Miller. We get to see Joel and Tommy's dad, played by Tony Dalton right there. A really cool actor. He was great in Better Call Saul. He was kind of underutilized in Hawkeye, but a great actor. But yeah, so Joel tells his dad that it was him. His dad obviously knows that it wasn't him. You get to the point where he's like, you're not gonna hit Tommy. He's like, if you wanna do anything, you gotta do it to me. So that shows like Joel's protective nature, this kind of like hero complex thing that he's always had. Joel's dad sits down with him, cracks a beer, and is like, look, man, when I was growing up, my dad broke my jaw. In my opinion, I feel like I'm doing a lot better than that guy. If you ever were to have your own children, I hope you get to do a little bit better than me. And this kind of line flows through the entire episode. So then we get the opening, which I got to comment on because we get Joel's silhouette back right before the episode starts. So we get to see Joel and Ellie back together, walking through the cordyceps again. And then we get the big flashback episode. So as a gamer, all these scenes are pretty much straight out of the game, except for the last one with the great Joe Pantoliano and the Eugene scene. So we get to see Ellie's birthdays from 16, 17, 18, all the way up to 19, basically where we are now. So her 16th birthday is coming around. Joel's trying to get things together. He's got this bag of Legos that he's trading so he could get Ellie a cake. One thing that I thought was cool that we find out about that guy is that he used to be a cop as well. They kind of have a little conversation. Kind of sparks a little something in Joel, maybe an old memory, kind of reminds him of his dad. We get to see Joel also preparing the other gift that he's getting Ellie, which is that guitar, the one that we've seen kind of throughout the season. You see him like breaking down the bone for one of the little pieces of the guitar, taking his time, etching in the moth into the neck of the guitar. Just really cool, beautiful details. Gives her the guitar, she loves that, and then, he kind of brings her downstairs to show her cake. A lot of people kind of didn't like this scene. They were like, oh, she's so immature. Like, what a crazy move for a 15-year-old, 16-year-old to do. And I'm just like, guys, she's never probably even had cake before or like a birthday thing at all. Like the whole time growing up, she doesn't understand like the etiquette of like standing in line and waiting for your piece and the birthday kid gets the first piece. So, everybody can calm down about that. I found it charming. I thought it was cute. I thought it was a little moment of levity. Next birthday here, 17th birthday, Joel's walking her through the woods. He's like, I'm taking you to a surprise. Ellie's guessing all these different things. She's like, what is it? Is it a dinosaur? Is it a convertible? Is it a litter of kittens? They have a cute line that's straight out of the game too. Joel's like, a litter? It's a litter of kittens. They come through the trees and it opens up and it literally is a dinosaur. So they're at like a natural science museum. Ellie gets the famous thing where she climbs the dinosaur. In the game, she jumps down into the water and then you kind of make your way into the space museum, which, Ellie is obsessed with. She loves space. She loves the thought of astronauts. It's so like straight out of the game, from the little thing you spin to spin the planets that revolve around the sun. That's right out of the game. Joel's like, do you want to go to space? And she's like, what? There's a capsule there from one of the Apollo missions. Joel gives her the opportunity to go pick her helmet. They go into the capsule. Ellie is blown away. She's clicking all the buttons. She's having the time of her life. And then Joel has one more surprise under his sleeve. He pulls out this tape and it's the countdown from one of the Apollo missions, like right before launch. She pops the tape into her Walkman and then boom, we get to go right into her imagination. We get to see the lighting change. Joel really gets to fulfill one of Ellie's biggest dreams, which is, to go to space just one time. So beautiful, so heartwarming, but also so heartbreaking because from here on out, like this is the happiest we'll ever see them. The 18th birthday, Joel kind of got his stuff together a little quicker this time. He's got the chocolate cake. He gets to her door and hears like, a little giggling, a little frisky business going on. Pops in and it's, Ellie and the other girl that we met on patrol. Joel is like totally taken aback. He realizes that they've been smoking weed. Then Ellie reveals that she got a tattoo. So Joel's like, man, you really giving it to me all at once. You see kind of a little bit of turmoil, a little bit of rebelliousness. Ellie is wanting to get out of that room. She wants to move into the garage. Joel wakes up in the middle of the night of her trying to move her mattress. He pleads with her a little bit, and he's like, give me a few days, I'll get the garage ready for you. And boom, then we cut to her 19th birthday, and Joel's finally taking her on patrol. They get a call over the radio that one of the groups has gotten attacked. So they head straight to Eugene to try to help out, come into the woods, and they find him kind of leaning against a tree, and they come to realize that he's been bitten. Joel goes into protector man mode. He's gonna follow the rules here. He's not gonna risk any harm to come to Ellie, any harm to come to Jackson, any harm to come to the community. So we see the great Joey Pantoliano. It's so good to finally see him in this season. He's just really just like begging to see his wife. And Joel knows that that's not an option. There's no way he can take him back to Jackson. Ellie has a little bit more empathy for the situation. She has him go through the little tests, reach out your hand, make sure it's steady, count down from 10 to 1. And she's like, hey, he has time, we can go take him back. And Joel's like, he lies to Ellie. He says, go get the horses, I'll make sure he's good. And then Ellie asks him, do you promise? And he says, yes. Ellie goes to get the horses, and then, Joel does what we all kind of assumed he was gonna do. Eugene comes to grips with what's happening, and, he sees his wife, imagines her, and then boom, Joel pulls the trigger and it's over. I thought one of the coolest shots was the birds flying away in that moment. They didn't play any audio. I thought you would kind of hear that echo of the shot throughout the woods, but you don't. You just see the birds fly away, and you know exactly what that means. Ellie comes back and is absolutely heartbroken that Joel lied to her. You could see it in her face when she realizes what is going on. So then they take Eugene's body back to Jackson. They're met at the door by Tommy and Eugene's wife. Joel makes up this story about, how he was bid, he wasn't gonna be able to come back. So he kind of makes up these last words that he had for his wife. And he says that he took his own life. So the thing that I don't really like about this scene is the fact that Ellie snitches on Joel. In my opinion, the Ellie that I know from the game would never turn her back on Joel. Joel's her guy. And maybe I can understand it from like a writer standpoint, why she would have done that, because it's like a culmination of the biggest lie that's ever been told to her in her life. And now she's realized that it is that. All those stories that Joel told her don't really add up. So then we cut to the dance, and we see kind of the dance from Joel's perspective a little bit. Another little heartbreaking moment. Tommy leaves the party and he's like, you know what, Joel, I'll catch you next year. And if you think about it, I think the next time Tommy sees Joel is his corpse in the morgue. The bartender guy confronts Ellie and Dina about kissing at the party, and then Joel comes busting in and knocks him down. I think it kind of reminded Joel of growing up, of his dad being abusive, and then him having to be a protector. So I love that parallel. I love that through line throughout the episode. And then we get to the porch. So for us gamers, this porch scene with Joel and Ellie doesn't happen until basically the very, very end of the game. So you don't really get this understanding of where their relationship was until the very end of the second game. But we get it here kind of in the middle, or it is the end of the second season, but as far as the game goes, we're probably in like the first third of the game as far as story goes. It was cool to see this scene here, especially for the viewers. You get a little bit of relief and a little bit more understanding of where Joel and Ellie were, right before his untimely demise. She has the hard conversation with Joel on the porch. She asks him all the tough questions. Could there have been a cure? He says yes. Like, did you kill the fireflies? He says yes. A brilliant performance by Pedro Pascal and Bella in this scene. Like, give them all the awards. This was Emmy Award winning worthy for sure. She tells Joel that he took away her purpose in life. She says, this would have made my life mean something, and you took that away from me. And then Joel tells her, he's like, if I could go back and I could do it all again, I would. And I think that's such a powerful line. It speaks volumes to the overwhelming love and responsibility that he feels for Ellie. Ellie says that she doesn't think she could ever forgive him, but she would like to try. We get to see that Joel and Ellie were on a path to somewhere better. They didn't really get to the end of that path. It was cut short. We end the episode with Ellie walking up into the theater through the rainstorm. Us gamers know kind of what's about to go down in that theater in this next episode. Everybody hold on tight. There will be some tough moments, But yeah, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys watching these videos. Thanks so much. We're looking forward to this season finale, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.